The first exercise we would have started in class last week, and which I'm going to show you here, is called acclimation. And it's not really an exercise at all. It's really just letting your dog get used to the environment that you're in. I'm in a pretty distracting environment for most dogs. I've got a lot of greenery over here. I've got grass right here. My car's back there. We're in a park where most of the time Merlin, my dog, goes walking and doesn't have to work. In order to be able to acclimate to the environment, your dog needs to be able to check out the space. Now, this area is pretty open, and if I wanted to, I could let Merlin check out the entirety of everything. But we're going to start small. I'm going to define an area for him to check out. So I'm using those two as a boundary, and I'm also using these three posts actually as a boundary as well. So basically all that means is we're going to be only in this space and we're going to ignore everything outside. Allowing your dogs to acclimate makes them far more likely to be able to do what you want them to do. While this seems slightly contrived now, when you do it more and more often, it starts to turn out that your dog can start to acclimate just about anywhere and do much better. So once we enter the space, I'm just going to follow him and let him do whatever. He's probably going to pee on everything. He is a intact male. But I'm just going to, when he gets to the edge of a spot, I'm going to use my leash basically as a little bit of a fence. So when he gets towards the edges, I'm just going to stop him. Yes, good boy, nice job. Okay, go play. So with that, he started to look at me, so I rewarded him with a treat. And then I told him to go play. That's his cue that he can continue to go and do whatever he wants. Most dogs get that pretty quickly. You just kind of do this with your hand and they figure it out. I think he may think that I dropped a treat. He's sniffing pretty intently. But that's okay, we're just letting him do what he wants to do in this space. You want to try and keep the leash loose as much as possible, unless you get to the edge of your boundary, at which point you make the leash go tight. So he's sniffing around everywhere, which is exactly what we're looking for. Yes, good boy. And when he pays attention to me, I'm going to feed him. Now, he's pretty far along in his process because we've been doing this a while. Okay, go play. We've been doing this for quite some time. Yes, good boy. So I can start to, okay, go play. I can tell him to go away and he'll probably come back again. So we're at the edge of the boundary. I'm going to just make the leash go tight. It's important not to pull on the leash. It's basically just that, yes, good boy. Their actions make the leash go tight. Okay, go play. Yes, good boy. Now eventually the hope is that it's hard to get rid of him. Okay, go play. Yeah, good boy, nice job. When you get to this stage, okay, go sniff. I use go sniff and go play interchangeably. Pick one and stick with it. Do as I say, not as I do. Once you get to this point, now Merlin's quite attentive on me, and he's trying out a few things. Once you get to that point, you can start to do some actual behaviors. So for example, Merlin, sit. Good boy. Merlin, touch. Yes, good job. And now, if you think that your dog isn't going to continue to pay attention to you, I suggest saying, okay, go sniff, and kind of releasing him again. So he's right at the edge, so I'm going to make the leash go a little bit tight. And just let him go sniff around again. Now, initially, your dog may not pay attention to you at all. And if that is the case, it's likely that you're in too distracting, good, yes, good boy. It's likely that you're in too distracting of an environment. Okay, go play. So acclimation is the first step in really any of my training sessions. So for a beginning dog who doesn't pay attention outside at all, I would start in a very boring location, like a parking lot or inside a really boring room. Once again, define your boundaries, but if there's natural boundaries there already, that's even better. You can use those. So now that we have some acclimation done, we can start to do some actual work. The first thing I'm going to teach you is something that is really easy and straightforward, and it is just called rapid fire treats. I'm going to load 10 treats into my hand, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to feed him one after the other. Oh! Now, he jumps up like this sometimes. I'm just going to ignore it because it usually works okay for him. You can always just back away so he doesn't land on you. Merlin. Yes. 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 Okay, go play. So all of that is doing is it's giving you a really good litmus test. If your dog can't pay attention to you when you're just feeding them 10 treats in a row, they need some more acclimation time. But if they can pay attention to you with 10 treats in a row, then you can start to do some work.